it's Wildest. Hello, everybody. Today's episode was Connor's idea?
Yeah.
You just came up with this?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I like sad things that kind of have like a happy ending-ish.
Here we go. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, tell us what we're doing.
We are talking about animals that have survived some of the craziest things, mostly that humans have done to them, and they still had a chance to, or they've done really well in the wild. It shows how resilient wildlife is.
Yeah.
Not saying that we should go out there and do these things to wildlife.
Right.
But that even despite people being awful, wildlife still finds a way to thrive.
Yes. That was very well said.
Thanks.
And Connor and I have seen some crazy stuff over the years. Injured wildlife. Connor and I have both done wildlife rehab. Connor was a vet tech, so you've seen way more crazy stuff than I have.
People are awful.
People are awful. I generally actually don't do very well with the gory stuff. But
I don't either, and that's why like when I was doing this research, there was some channels dedicated to that kind of thing, especially African safaris. And that was animal on animal. I can't stand that actually. Like that gets to me. And I'm fine with seeing the healed part, but actively like an animal caught in a trap, I wanna beat the heck out of some of the people that put that out there.
Right.
So the trap. But yeah, it's I like with the vet tech stuff that I did, I would get really angry. And I could never be angry at the person bringing in the animal because they're the ones doing the good work. But that was tough. That's where I think a lot of the burnout can like happen there if you're seeing that a ton.
Yeah.
But on the opposite side, like with the wildlife that we're going to show today, I think that's where some hope can come in.
I get that on the burnout side too, from like a wildlife rehab perspective, is like it literally never ends. Like animals are always getting hit by cars, they're always getting shot, like they're always getting abused. So yeah, it's a never ending cycle, but still wildlife rehabbers do a really, really important job in mitigating and even reversing, some of that damage that we cause. Can we start with like some of our stories of the worst things that we've seen that animals have survived from?
Yeah, I think like also like world bird. Like I was gonna mention the beaver. You were there when they talked about the beaver, right? That they brought in that was like hit by a car.
Yeah.
And they were gonna like what World Bird does is they take roadkill, fresh roadkill, and then they butcher it and then they put it in bags and then they run those bags of meat through an x-ray machine to see if there's any lead shot or steel shot in there.
Yeah.
And then they clear those bags for food for their rehab hospital and stuff like that. They said a beaver came in, which was really random. They said they couldn't use any of it because it was filled with bird and buckshot and had been living with just tiny bullet fragments or like the lead or steel shot BBs inside of it for who knows how long, and it finally got hit by a car. But they said it had to have been shot 3 to 4 times.
That is so insane.
Why do that?
Yeah, and for what?
Why? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like
you guys saw something crazy not like within the past couple years, that duck?
Oh, we were out we were kayaking the Bat Bridge just on like a little in Austin, just for like a little, I don't know, excursion.
The Bat Bridge is there's a bridge in Austin, Texas, and there's a bunch of bats that live under it, and so at the right time of year you can see like thousands of bats fly out of it. It's very cool. You can kayak under that bridge and see them too, which is awesome. We
were so excited. We had like a drink or two, and we were like kayaking over there with Lindsay. Lindsay was just visiting.
Yeah.
Lindsay before she got a job. And we found a duck that someone had shot. I should have brought up a picture, but shot a tiny arrow, plastic arrow with a metal tip, like from one of those crossbow guns that I used to have as a kid, but I would never shoot a duck in its wing. And the duck was doing just fine. Couldn't fly. But
the whole arrow's still in it, y'all.
It missed all the vital parts of the duck's wing by like, I don't know, millimeters.
Yeah.
I think we could have pulled it out and it would have been fine, but we took it to a vet. We sat at the vet for like 3 hours for it to take it, and then they were able to release it within 2 weeks. But like, just people out there shooting ducks like they do stop signs out here in the country. Even in the middle of Austin, in the city, like someone walking around with like a little crossbow.
Yeah.
If they're shooting animals, that's the first step to like, what? Isn't that like the first sign people are gonna
like
be psychotic.
people being sociopaths or something, psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, that's crazy.
What have you seen?
One of the first things I thought of that I always thought was really horrific was saving birds of prey from car grills. I've done a lot of that. Like owls and hawks and stuff will be flying along the road and they'll get stuck in like the grill of people's car in the front. And it's just a really horrific sight, and it looks like they should be dead. Because they get stuck in it, and their wings are like sticking out, and their feathers are all out of whack. And like these birds, they can't get out, and it's a car going on the highway, so it's going really fast. They're just getting pushed further and further in by the wind. And so I've seen birds that have been like stuck in car grills for dozens and dozens and dozens of miles.
I've only seen pictures. I've never had to deal with that.
Oh my gosh. It's like so horrific and so scary getting it out because bird bones are so fragile.
Yeah.
So that was like my least favorite kind of rescue in rehab. So yeah, birds in car grills, horrific sight. I've seen turtles that have been hit by cars and their shell cracks.
Ooh.
And like cracks like the whole shell, and I just can't even imagine how painful that
Have you seen people intentionally run over turtles before?
No.
I was going out to help a turtle across the road on like the main road next to Dollywood in Tennessee, and this truck swerves out of its way while I'm walking to go get the turtle to hit it. And if I had a gun, I would have...
Did they hit it?
Yeah. Right in front of me.
It?
Right in front of me. 3 feet in front of me. I started tearing up. I was so mad. Thank God I didn't carry a gun because I would have whipped it out and started shooting. Just reaction. I was that angry.
Wait, why?
Because they're pieces of shit.
But why turtles? I didn't know people had beef with turtles.
I don't know. Just to kill something.
What?
Big pickup truck, lifted, big tires. Oh, I'm not going to say that's like a type of person, but it's definitely
I've known people to swerve to hit squirrels. And then people swerve to hit deer as well to like take it home.
Oh.
Like as a form of hunting.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's a terrible idea for your car.
Yeah, that is.
Like, very dangerous for you
bad.
And your car.
I hate that.
Anyway, those are some crazy things that I saw. I'm sure more will come up. But we've also done some research on some of the craziest cases of animals that have been injured and have survived. My first one, you talked about traps a little bit, so it was very fun. We're going to talk about snares. Snare trap is a type of trap that people use for hunting, and it's like a passive form of hunting. So you leave snares out in the jungle or in wherever you're hunting at, and things get caught in the snare, and then you come back to those things probably being dead, and that's how you catch your food. Problem with snares is they do not discriminate on what they catch. So snares can catch up anything. You can put a snare out for a deer, but it's also going to snare the predator that is trying to hunt that deer. In this case, there's a chimpanzee. His name's Max. He lost both his legs below the knee.
Jesus.
To wire snares.
Oh my God.
Both of his legs. Before he turned 8 years old.
Jesus.
Max was caught by snares twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
It's not one snare.
No, 2 separate snares.
Unlucky.
Both legs.
Jesus Christ.
Insane. And survived. He is now 15 years old.
What?
And he can climb trees. Look at him. Yeah, this is him in a tree.
Oh my God. He is missing his 2 feet.
Yeah, he's missing his feet, like just above the ankle, right below the knee.
That's so sad. That had to be so painful.
I can't even imagine.
But twice?
Twice. But oh my God, the pain of like, guys, it's this, imagine losing a limb like that. Imagine losing a limb to a snare, not being able to cauterize it, not being able to like tourniquet it. How?
Dude, animals are so tough.
Can we actually talk about how for a second?
I don't know how.
If I got my leg stuck in a snare in the jungle and I had no ability to cauterize it, I just like shove it in a bunch of dirt and mud and hope that it stops the bleeding enough to where it will eventually heal itself and I don't get an infection and die.
It's depending on how long it got caught for, like it would probably just like cut off blood flow and then slowly die off, and the infection would come in and it would like eventually like fall off. So it's a slow, painful process, but it's not like a cut off.
All that without painkillers is just insane. On both legs is just insane.
I mean, imagine this is anthropomorphic, but going through it's his head, like not like on the second time, like, oh crap, it's happening again. Like,
well, and that's not even, it's not anthropomorphic to think that he remembers that, because he absolutely does. This is an ape that we're talking about.
Right.
The trauma out of that is horrific.
But doing just fine, climbing trees. 15 years old, 7 years post. That's That's tough.
Yep. It
That's
was crazy. So yeah, snares are very popular form of hunting.
When's the only time that you could use a snare?
The only time you could use a snare?
Yeah, I can only think of one case where you could like ethically use a snare.
I don't know.
When you're in a survival situation, like your plane crashes, you know, in the middle of a jungle, and then you put up tiny snares for like small animals.
Yeah.
That's the only time I could think of doing that. Because I watched like Survivor Man growing up.
Yeah.
And I like he would just do tiny snares for those animals. And like I feel like that's the only time like it could be acceptable, like in a life or death situation.
Yeah. They're
But he always picks them up after he's done. You got to.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But other than that, dude, the snares awful.
They're awful. It's also just like if an animal is dying to a snare, it is a horrific way to die. Like if an animal gets caught up in a snare, and it isn't something where it's like taking their limb and they can escape. If they get caught around the waist or something, we've seen Connor and I recently actually rescued a coyote from a snare. There was a female coyote that someone set a snare trap on a fence in Texas, and the coyote. This was like within the last year, right?
It was like 2 years ago.
No, it was not.
Dude, I looked back at like stuff I thought happened a month ago. It was March. It is going by so freaking fast. It was 2 years ago.
All right, 2 years ago, coyote stuck in a snare in the fence. She had the snare around her waist.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it was around her entire waist. There is no way for her to get out of that. She can't lose the half of her body and then go forth. It's a metal snare. She can't cut it off. If Connor and I didn't go get that snare off of her to release her, she would just slowly die
of dehydration.
And she loses all the circulation. It hurts so bad because the more she struggles, the tighter the snare gets around your waist. It's just a horrific way to die. So there are a lot of people that are actively trying to remove snares from protected areas and protect animals that way. So if you ever hear of conservation organizations that are working on that, amazing, incredible work because they're just so awful and so gnarly.
It's hard to see some of those like thin metal snares too. Like you have to have a real good eye on that.
Yeah.
Have you ever deployed a foot trap before?
No.
I did in my younger days, not to like catch anything, but just curious.
Mm-hmm.
And they're crazy gnarly. Have you seen those videos like where the mountain lion has been stuck in that foot trap and is like trying to pull away, and the people that set it are like, "Oh, we're coming to save you," and then they get views off of that?
No.
I've seen a few like, "Oh, we set this. It was meant for a dog, but got the coyote or the cougar or whatever.
Oh my
we're gonna save you, the bobcat." And then they're like, "Oh, it doesn't break its bones, just how it's designed." I'm like, no, there's a good chance there's some broken bones. And you either have the ones that are like flat barred or with the teeth. Most of the time, it's flat barred nowadays. It's harder to get the teeth. You have to like specially get those. But the flat bars, hopefully they don't break bones, but they probably break
Absolutely,
bones.
they break. But if you're spinning around in there full force, you have your wrist caught. Even if it's a flat bar, we're talking like bear trap, y'all. Like think Venus flytrap, but metal. Like your hand's in there. If I'm panicking, struggling to get out, and I turn around, like it's just gonna break my wrist. Doesn't matter if there's teeth on it or not.
And they're like, "Oh, it doesn't break the bones."
Oh my gosh.
Maybe an initial hit, maybe not. There's a chance, 50-50, but like, yeah, when they're struggling to get out. Anyway, people, there's people that'll do it for views. Thankfully, it's not as prevalent now, but it was kind of bigger back in the day, like maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
I'm pissed. Yep. By the way, this is not uncommon. Like snare traps and like unethical trapping and animals getting injured or dying to trapping, illegal trapping, is very, very common. Here's another chimp, actually. His name was Twig.
Twig. Ooh.
Lost his hand to a snare.
I want to say this is sad, but also I'm wanting to keep it on the positive side. And for my mental sanity, they're surviving really well despite all of this, despite the humans being awful. So I want to hold on to that side of things. Yeah. For me, anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean it's great that they survived. I just like I can't get past the idea of them going through that process.
No, it's awful.
Like picturing any animal in that process is crazy. Picturing like an ape in that process is like I honestly can't do it.
Yeah.
I refuse. But yeah, so snare traps, crazy stuff. Two chimpanzee examples here that did survive. despite snare traps, and still can climb trees and hang out with their friends and eat and all that. But it does permanently affect the social hierarchy of those chimpanzees.
True.
Because both of those chimpanzees with their handicaps will never become an alpha male chimpanzee because they just don't have the physical ability to. And that is absolutely us getting in the way of natural selection and social hierarchy of these wild animals. And that's devastating too. It's just not
imagine
right.
like if they're this tough, imagine how tough they would be with a full hand or both feet.
Yeah.
So that's
anyway,
it.
That's my first one, chimpanzees and snares.
I've got some more snare stuff because that's a common theme among things, but a snare with our national symbol, the bald eagle.
Oh, okay.
So
Man, they would be so bad at getting out of a snare.
They have to lose their foot.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, so back in the mid 1980s, there was an immature bald eagle that lost a foot in its leg in a leg hold trap or a snare. Massachusetts Division of Fish and Wildlife took it and rehabilitated it. They had to the foot was like mostly dead, and there's a paper that we're going to link in the description from the 80s. So they amputated the foot because it was mostly dead, and they were like, look, we don't have a place to send this bald eagle. It's a immature bald eagle. It's like probably 2 to 3 years old, and we've been hearing a lot in the Massachusetts area that there's been a few one-legged bald eagles doing just fine. We have no clue if that's true or not. We don't have any studies. So because this bald eagle is not going to be suited for, in human care or captivity, let's release it after it's fully healed. Mm-hmm. That's what they did. They put a radio tracker on it, and this was like the first official release of a one-legged bird of prey that I could find data on, because this was like, again, mid 1980s. So they released it. The radio tracker died pretty quickly. So they're like, oh my God, it died so fast. But then a year later, it was seen at a bait station, because back in the day, they put up bait stations to count eagles and stuff like that. And they could identify it by the missing leg, right, and then the band that they put on the other good leg.
Yeah.
And it came back to that bait station 2 years in a row.
Cool.
And so they're like, wow, it survived for 2 years. So that's what they published the study on, but it could survive for a lot longer.
Right. I've seen pigeons with one leg.
Yeah. I could see.
Actually, I think I saw a pigeon once with no feet.
Oh my God.
So it was just on like two, which is really hard on those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Eagles, I mean, they primarily hunt with their feet. So it's harder for them to catch fish.
Yeah.
Granted, they still can. But like, how do you like feed on generally when they catch a fish, they land in a tree and they use one of their foot to stay on the branch, and the other foot brings the fish up. So what I've seen them do is they land on a flat surface with the fish and they bend down and eat. But that opens them up to more predation, right. Other bald eagles swooping in, because it's just not as safe as landing in a tree and eating. So that was back in the 80s, and rehab really that didn't catch on in the rehab space, releasing one-legged animals, because like it's just tough. Like if you can, really, it's still up for debate whether it's better to euthanize or to give them a chance. I don't know. I don't know the answer. We would need to release more one-legged birds of prey, which that's an ethical concern.
That's so tough.
Yeah.
Because just like touching on what Connor's saying here is like, when you have to make those choices in wildlife rehab of, do we release this animal, is like, that obviously feels the best to us to like, okay, well, we'll give it a chance. But at the end of the day, if it's going to die to nature, a lot of times those deaths can be insanely cruel and insanely painful and insanely slow. So it's like, if we can humanely euthanize them and not put them through that, is that a choice that we make? Like, crazy to make those decisions for another living being. I don't know. Yeah, I would hate to be the one to make that call for this bird.
I would say if it's back in the 80s, I mean, they were endangered. If you didn't have space for it in captivity for helping genetic diversity there for breeding programs, then I guess letting it out in the wild, hopefully it does well, which it did. Anyway, I don't, people romanticize the wild, and it's actually not as romantic as people think.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had, Kayla and I have encountered people that are like, oh, let your animals go, and like they would die within like 10 minutes or an hour of being released.
And they're like, that's what they would want.
It's like, it's better for them to be free for an hour and die in the wild than to be in captivity for 20 years and like have a great life. Yeah, anyway. So there's some there's some more recent footage of bald eagles, or pictures of bald eagles with 1 foot. And here's one from December 2024. I found it on Facebook.
Wow.
It was spotted in Iowa at a lake. We have some more close-up pictures of it. It's missing its right foot, most likely from a snare trap, and
poor guy.
It's just hobbling around on the ice.
Huh?
Yeah, he was eating. I think this was the one with the goose, or maybe the next one's with the goose. But it's beautiful. It's a huge bird, seeming to do just well.
Yeah, looks like it operates like a normal bird.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then the next one was Tony took a photograph and ID'd another eagle in Colorado that was missing a foot as well. And here is the Facebook post. It's like Tony, what's that say? Tony photography? Tony takes photography is the photographer. And this was a 1-legged bald eagle in Colorado feeding on a carcass, different eagle, because now this one's missing its left foot. So we got some closer up shots of it coming down, chasing off a juvenile bald eagle. In the post, he said, this eagle was a beast, probably a female for how large she is, and just absolutely had so much tenacity and like aggression.
So what do we think? These are all snare.
It has to
losses?
be snares. Yeah, you're not gonna have genetically.
Maybe like a really bad fishing line.
Could be. I count that in like it's a unintentional snare would be fishing line. But
because I think the pigeons that I've seen that are missing feet and limbs, I think those are probably rats.
Could be.
Like when they're babies, maybe.
Yeah, chewed off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw, Kayla and I saw in HEB parking lot, we tried to capture a grackle that had thread wrapped around its foot. And you could see it like, the body was like absorbing, granulating over it.
Yeah.
But like it was not doing well. So.
That's so sad.
It sucks because like.
He's too fast.
Yeah, there was like, even with a net, he was, because he was doing well. He was eating just fine. He just like was on 1 leg. So,
man.
Yeah, no, despite all of the humans and the bad stuff that we do, wildlife still finds a way to thrive. Again, not saying that we should do this more, but at least gives me a little bit of hope. Still sad,
Did you
though.
Research about that whale?
Yeah.
Okay, so sick, because I do want to hear about that.
Oh, yeah, that's a long one.
Because my next one, I'm talking about snares again, and I was like, I hope yours is not another snare after this. I have another snare story, though. Right. There's a lioness that got caught in a snare in 2016. This is a picture of her. So she lost her back right leg, which, like, as a lion, this is a lot of weight, you know? And, like, we see dogs that are missing a limb, and dogs can be missing a limb and actually do pretty well, right?
They do. The issue though is when you put all that weight on 1 back leg.
Yeah.
It's better to lose a front leg from a dog.
Interesting.
But the back legs, their MCLs, ACLs get blown out a lot quicker, and they need knee replacements. And like that tendon work a lot sooner than a lot. No, a smaller dog might be fine, but like a big dog, then they have to go into surgery, and then they've got to be rated for like 3 months, which sometimes if they're young enough, it's worth it. A lot of owners elect to euthanize at that point if there's like a 12 or 13-year-old dog that needs to go under critical knee surgery and be down for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but I don't know about cats. Cats are built differently.
Yeah.
Might be fine.
Here's another picture of her with this missing limb.
That granulated over so well.
I was gonna say it looks great.
Yeah.
Like for losing it to a snare trap and not having medical attention.
It's got a nice pad. Audio listeners, there's a nice pad underneath that it looks like part of the foot pad almost. So it's like she can use it to place on the ground a little bit here and there. It has like that cushion on it, which is a good comfort thing at least.
Yeah. So this was not we talked about snares that are just like on the floor of the jungle. That's with the chimpanzees. But But for her, the snare that she got caught in is where there's a tree that's bent and secured to the ground with a winch cable. And then when an animal steps on the trigger, the tree is released and it tightens a wire noose around the leg and hoists the animal into the air. And
That's
they hang
some
upside
movie
down.
crap.
Yeah.
What?
And then the animal hangs upside down. And so a trap that large obviously can hoist a lion into the air, which is what happened. And so she was hanging upside down. On
what are they trying to catch with that?
Buffalo? I don't know. Large hoofstock?
I feel like there's much easier ways to do that. Like, what if an elephant steps in there? I'm sure that happens.
Surely it's not strong enough to lift up an
elephant. No,
it
wouldn't. But like, it would just like cut through the elephant.
Maybe lions. I mean, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not like hunting for hoofstock. Maybe it's trophy.
Could be.
Or like, I don't know, or parts.
It's just
trafficking.
gnarly. It's
Yeah, it's crazy. So she was hanging upside down. That's also okay. You want to talk about like terrible ways to die? Obviously, getting stuck on a trap on the ground and dying slowly is awful. But I would argue getting trapped, hanging upside down, and dying slowly is worse.
Yeah.
So it actually does get worse. Anyway, I don't actually know if she was rescued off of that trap or if it broke or what happened.
Right.
But she is doing pretty well though. She has had to like alter her hunting techniques. There are people who have watched her over years.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, because she's
so she does a lot.
Speed.
She does a lot more scavenging from leopard kills. They say that she ambushes prey more like a leopard, which they didn't really go into what that means. I imagine it's just like less pursuit and more like stealth.
Sit and wait.
Yeah, because she obviously can't do a lot of running. And then also they said that she has a lot of help from her pride, which is really cool.
Yeah, nice.
So they've adapted to her having that handicap as well. This is in Zambia. Also, the writer said he saw her mate. So she is possibly a mother-to-be.
Wow.
Which is very cool.
That's crazy. It's nice that she has like that social structure around her
for sure,
and that's willing to help.
Yeah,
because that's not that common in the animal world.
Yep.
Most of the time they probably like send them off. I was doing some research. Like most of the wolves that are injured, they end up becoming lone wolves.
Oh, yeah.
And they do fine.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. But, there was the kind of inspiration for this was like the whale harpoon story. That
I really want to hear about this. The way, I think we've talked about this on the pod before, but the way that people have killed whales in the past, you have to, a whale is obviously a very large animal, and so it's not something you can just like shoot with a gun. So like, how do you kill something that big and in the water? And the methods are actually diabolical.
Yeah. Like
insane. Sorry, go ahead.
I would like to murder anybody that came up with that idea. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give kind of like a little bit of a background on it, but not as deep as we've done before, because I think we've talked about this a few times on the pod. But whaling for profit was banned in 1986. That's so recent, which is crazy. However, Japan, Iceland, and Norway continue to kill fin, mink, and sea whales every year. All three nations believe they have a right to hunt whales. Japan claims its objective is scientific research, while Norway objects to the ban, and Iceland hunts under a dubious reservation to the whaling ban. That's from Whale and Dolphin Conservation. Wanted to kind of highlight that. Whaling peaked in the mid 1800s, and here's kind of a picture of like kind of like the peak. Maybe that's like closer to the early 1900s. But by 1927, the U.S. whaling industry thankfully kind of came to a halt. So whales, kind of as like a brief background, whales were used for oil to do like all the lamps and everything else. But in the early 1900s, the world found that you could get oil from the ground.
I know that surely there's an easier way to get oil for lamps than like, I know I wasn't around then and we didn't know we could get it from the ground, but like, how could you ever possibly think it's worth it to go out in the ocean and like make it's so hard to kill a whale and it's so gnarly, and like harvesting that, there's so much work.
And then transporting all that
for lamps.
Yeah.
Surely there's an easier way.
There was other things they used. I remember us talking about like perfumes and
it just drives me crazy. What are you thinking?
Well, here's the crazy thing. So, oil and gas, I read an article from like a pro oil and gas, and they were the reason whales are rebounding today is because oil and gas. We saved the whales.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, in the short term, yeah, they relieved the pressure off of the whaling industry and kind of had it come to a halt because we started pumping oil out of the ground and that replaced what we were doing to the whales. But long term, we're going to kill everything because of climate change, because of oil and gas.
Firefighter, undercover arson.
Yep, exactly.
Dude, that's evil.
So I wanted to bring that up because I thought that was crazy. Yeah, there's quite a few of that. So what led to the boom in the mid 1800s was how they killed the whales. And before that, they would like throw harpoons, and sometimes they would just shoot harpoons too, and then like just wear the whale out until it like died of exhaustion. And then they decided, hey, let's put explosives in these harpoons.
In the harpoon.
So they would shoot the harpoon, and it would go sink into the blubber, and then a few seconds later, boom, big explosion, gaping hole in the whale. Here's a picture of a gun of the exploding harpoon. And keep for the videos, people watching on YouTube, look at the tip here. That's going to be important later. So this made it so much easier to kill whales at a much larger scale, which led to that boom. So in 2007, there was some Inuit whalers that were out in Alaska, and they were able to get a bowhead whale. And it was a 50-foot long or 15 meter or 50 mayas or just slightly larger than the school bus size bowhead whale. And they are allowed to, hunt these whales for non-commercial purposes and for traditional or for tradition and whatnot. So they were chainsawing this huge whale to cut it up, to divide it amongst the community. And they found 1 foot or 0.3 meters inside of the whale, encased in blubber, an exploded harpoon. And we have a picture of this might not be it. This might be misinformation, but this is apparently what I could find was the exploded harpoon tip inside of the whale. You can see the chainsaw marks of it. But that means this bowheaded whale They believe it dated back to 1880. 1880. This harpoon has been in this whale, 1 foot deep inside.
When did they kill it?
2007.
Oh my gosh!
It had survived a huge explosion. Probably it could have. They said it exploded. And they saw fragments inside of it. So like it exploded. Maybe it didn't explode all the way, or maybe it just got super lucky and it was super tough. But apparently, bowhead whales, they're Arctic species. They like to go under the ice and stuff like that. So they had to use these explosive harpoons so they could get them before they go under the ice. But they apparently have a great immune system. They have slow metabolisms, and they have a lot of other adaptations I could talk about for hours about why they could like live over 200 years, because they can live super long, but also deal with this kind of atrocity. And they're probably one of the better whales to be able to survive this kind of attack. Which is crazy.
Are there people that still use grenade harpoons?
Probably.
Yeah.
I would think so. The few, I haven't seen anything about the native communities using that. Yeah. I think they use more traditional methods.
Yeah.
But I don't know about those 3 nations mentioned earlier, how they go about it. I would hope that nowadays that there would be some technological advances that would make it less awful, but I don't see how you euthanize a whale.
Can I say something crazy?
Sure.
You guys ever had a splinter?
Okay.
Like, you ever have a splinter and like just having something so small lodged in your skin. Yeah. If you put pressure on anything, it hurts so bad. Yeah. Or like you pick something up, it hurts so bad because there's something in your skin. Like, heaven forbid, you can't get it out. And then it just like hurts forever. Can you imagine a grenade harpoon lodged inside of your body?
I think, hear me out.
To scale.
Hear me out. So I think it would be a bit different.
Yeah, I think it would be different too, Connor.
Because
than a splinter.
the blubber doesn't have a lot of like nerve endings, doesn't have a lot of
You think
vascular.
it didn't hurt?
No, I think after maybe 50 years, it probably didn't feel a thing.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe after 50 years, yeah, okay.
It got encapsulated.
Encapsulated, but like
for the first year, horrible. For the first 10 years, probably not as horrible, but it was still bad. And then it just gets less from there. But yeah, thankfully.
Yeah, it's like everybody that has, you got pencil lead in you somewhere?
No.
No?
Why do you have pencil lead in you? What?
Space, do you have pencil lead in you anywhere? Really?
No.
Nobody has pencil lead in them?
What are you talking about?
You never got stabbed by pencils as a kid?
No.
And you just got lead lodged in your body?
No.
I think this is a normal thing.
No.
Guys, chat. Can you tell us if that's a normal thing? I'm pretty sure people have pencil lead, like in their arms. Like mechanical pencils. So you get stabbed with a mechanical pencil and it gets like stuck.
Where did you grow up?
Hold on. Hold on, this is important.
I've got asphalt that comes on my shoulder.
People have pencil lead stuck in them from school.
I feel like it'd break down over time. Graphite, right? Yeah, graphite.
Pencil lead stuck in them from school. Piece of pencil that's been stuck in my hand since grade school. Yes, some people have small amount of pencil material, actually non-toxic graphite stuck under the skin from school accidents. Do a lot of people have pencil lead in their school? ER or not, I've been stabbed with a pencil. Has anyone had pencil lead stuck in their body for years? From 1986. Pencil lead from childhood accidents. Dude, this is such a normal thing.
That's crazy.
Look, it's all over. Everybody's got this.
Weird.
Everybody's got a little pencil lead in
Where's
their body.
yours?
I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I used to. I used to have it in my hand.
Jesus. I've got asphalt that comes on my shoulder from time to time.
I don't got any pencil lead in me anymore. It's kind of sad. Anyway, I feel like you just gaslit me, but the comments they're all gonna say it. They're gonna be like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I got stabbed with pencils all the time.
That's crazy. But like, I think that's probably like a better analogy. Like, it hurts at first with get the pencil lead in there,
but then over time you just don't feel it.
Yeah, your body encapsulates it. Like I worked with someone that had a bullet in their leg still, and they were like, yeah, it just encapsulated around it, like it encased the lead, like it's not leaching out, like doesn't hurt anymore. It hurt for the first year.
Doctor, but like
the doctor didn't pull it out because like
why
it would cause more damage to the bone because it's like right next to the bone, and like the bone had kind of like encapsulated.
I feel like a leg, just in my dumb brain, seems like a great place to extract a bullet from, but I guess it's not that simple.
No, I guess they were like, oh, it'd be too much. I don't know.
Okay.
But
no, that is crazy. For audio listeners, the harpoon looks like a model rocket if it's made out of metal and the tip is an arrowhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is gnarly.
It is. It's insane, and I wonder how many more whales are out there. But they were able to, know that whale's over 150 years old because of that, which was cool. And kind of figure out that there probably are some whales still out there that have survived this kind of stuff. There's some images online of like harpoons in their head and stuff like that. Pretty sure those are all photoshopped.
Okay.
Because like none of them are having that. But it's crazy. It must have encapsulated it pretty fast because salt water just erodes metal super fast. So that's also why I think the picture is like maybe not quite accurate, but who knows. Here's some positive things though.
Okay.
So by the 1920s, well, here's a negative thing. By the 1920s, there was only about 3,000 bowhead whales globally. Today, there are 16,000.
Excellent.
And every year, the population seems to increase about 3%.
Cool.
So they're coming back. We should stop all whaling, really, because whales are so freaking important. Or at least the commercial whaling. Yeah. And then I got you want me to show you a quick, I got an extra one.
Yeah.
This is real quick. So this was from the Voyagers Wolf Project Facebook. This wolf here was found in 2020, and it had a non-working eye. And it was a lone wolf, and they darted it down. They put a GPS collar on it, and then they also had a vet take a look at it. It's most likely from glaucoma infection or a stick in the eye. There's nothing they could do for it, but its body score was impeccable.
Let's go.
And they saw it, once they had a radio collar on it, saw it hunting just fine with no issues.
Cool.
So seeing this kind of data, people, and they're even looking at owls now, or predators that primarily use their eyes to be like, they might do fine released in the wild with one eye and thrive, just like they had two. And maybe let's not euthanize them or put them in human care, and get them out into the wild. And they're starting to do that more. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because wildlife is overrun.
Yeah.
It doesn't have enough space, wildlife rehab or sanctuaries. So
Cool.
it's cool to get them back out.
All right, guys. Well, there's your episode for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of our most resilient wildlife, some of our best survivors, if you will. Crazy stories out there.
Yep.
But very cool, very interesting to learn about. Let us know in the comments if you have lead stuck in you somewhere. And like and subscribe, and we will see you over on the Patreon.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching or listening. Goodbye.